Welcome to the Kentucky Retirement System's Invoice Training Series. This video will provide information on the monthly reporting invoice. Every month, a template is generated for the FileWeb and school board employers to submit their retirement contributions and records to the Kentucky Retirement Systems. The retirement report is made up of the report of the individual member details, the report summary, and the report payment, and all three pieces must be submitted every month by the agency. After the Kentucky Retirement Systems receives all three parts of the monthly report from the employer, they are reviewed during a balancing process to determine if there is any monetary discrepancy between the details, summary, or payment. Following the balancing process, each member detail record is loaded to their specific retirement account, unless a record is found to be incorrectly reported. Then, a representative of the Employer Reporting Compliance and Education Division will correct the error so the record can post to the member's retirement account. The monthly reporting invoice resolves any monetary discrepancies found during the balancing and error correction processes from the last submitted monthly report, as well as any monetary adjustments done on a record posted to a member's account. The newly created invoice will reflect the balancing correction and error correction made on the last monthly report submitted by the agency, and any adjustments made between the 26th day of the prior month and the 25th day of the current month. The monthly reporting invoice can be accessed through the Invoice module, found on the Report tab in Employer Self-Service. The invoice will be a multi-page document containing balancing information, the error correction information, and adjustment information. The first page of the monthly reporting invoice provides the general information on the employer name and code, the invoice number, the primary ERCE conduct for error corrections and for adjustments, as well as the report month, which should be the last monthly report submitted by the employer. Usually, the report month date is a month behind the creation date of the invoice, unless there is an instance of an overdue monthly report being submitted. Following the general information is a summary of the balancing discrepancy, showing the variance between the detail information, the summary information, and the payment of the employee contributions, health insurance contributions, and employer contributions. This variance is totaled at the bottom of the page and followed by the adjustments after balancing total, which is the variance of the contribution amounts on the error correction records and on the adjustments of posted records. The balancing variance and the error correction adjustment variance is combined to find the total due on the invoice. Please remember, this total is for contributions only. We do not calculate the salary amounts into this total. Those amounts are provided for informational purposes only. Page 2 of the invoice, following the summary of the balancing variance, starts the breakdown of the variance, first by retirement plan. In this example, it shows the variance occurred in the CERS non-hazardous retirement plan. Page 3 of the invoice expands the information from page 2 and breaks down the variance through the different contribution levels on the retirement plan. In this example, it shows the employee contribution part is $184.88. The health insurance contribution part is $36.98, and the employer contribution part is $794.22. Page 4 of the invoice expands again on the information from page 3 and breaks down the variance through the different contribution groups within the retirement plan. In this example, it shows the variance occurred in the CERS non-hazardous cash balance contribution group, and there was no variance in the records reported under the CERS non-hazardous with health insurance contribution group. Page 5 of the invoice continues the breakdown of the variance through the different contribution groups within the retirement plan. So continuing on this example, it shows there was no variance in the records reported under the CERS non-hazardous without health insurance contribution group. This is the last page of the balancing variance breakdown on the monthly reporting invoice. Page 6 begins the adjustments after balancing details. These pages contain the records that were corrected during the error correction process after the monthly report was submitted, and the records that were updated through the internal adjustment process after they have posted to the member's account. This information is important to review as each record reflects a monetary change on a specific employee of your agency. And as the employer, you may need to collect additional contributions to make the record correct or refund through payroll the pre-tax contributions that were overpaid. The information provided in this section shows you the member who the correction or change was made on, and then displays the record as it was originally reported by the agency, followed by the record as it is after being corrected by KRS. Each record has a variance sum total below the reported and corrected lines, and a total variance is shown at the end of all corrections and adjustments. This time, the total variance from all the error correction and adjustments is shown on page 7 of the invoice. But depending on how many records went through error correction and adjustments for the month, this information could be spread over multiple pages. The final pages on this invoice contain any adjustments done during the balancing process. In this example, there were no adjustments done during the balancing, but the ERCE representative who handles the balancing for your agency may need to reach out to you during the monthly reporting process. And if an adjustment needs to be completed to make the 3 pieces of the monthly report balance, then that record will be displayed here. Once the invoice is issued, the agency has 30 days from the date of creation to pay the invoice. The due date for this invoice is shown on the invoice screen in Employer Self-Service. It is not located on the invoice itself. Thank you for viewing the monthly reporting invoice training. If an agency has questions regarding any of their invoices, they may contact their ERCE team through the employer hotline and ask to speak to the invoice specialist.